Hello, Rob from Fountain Pen Journey with a review of the Namisu Nova Copper fountain pen. This is, in my view, wow, I love it. There's nothing else I can say about it. I like copper as a material, as a metal. I like copper as a fountain pen finish, as a colour. This is made out of copper. It's machined copper, turned copper. It's great. It's made by Namisu, who are based in the UK, up in Scotland, and they have run their business for a few years. And what they tend to do is create Kickstarter projects to get tooling and materials together, and then offer their latest designs as part of a Kickstarter project. And I have got a couple of pens on the way from them, coming soon, June 2020. Should be due at the end of June. I know we're getting there now, so hoping to get those pens soon. I'll do a pen mail video about those because they should be quite nice. But this is a Namisu Nova fountain pen, which has been available for a few years, and you can buy this directly from the Namisu website in different metals. You can get copper, brass, titanium, and ebonite, polished and unpolished, I think, with a whole selection of different nib sizes. So, you know, it's one of these pens that you can pick and choose when you buy it from them directly. Their new designs obviously form part of the Kickstarter. This was a Kickstarter design, I believe, from a few years ago, but of course now they've got everything up and running. They now make these pens and sell them via their website anyway. So no need to wait around for a Kickstarter project, because I've waited about 6 months for my Namisu Kickstarter pen to be made. So, copper. It's made of copper. It's not just like copper coloured. This is a copper fountain pen, and it's heavy. Very, very heavy. This is a big, heavy, chunky pen, and I love it. It's simple. It's really simple. I love the simplicity of the design of it. It's rounded, it's ergonomic, it's an excellent weight if you like really heavy pens. There is no clip, as you can see, so it rolls absolutely everywhere and it spins. Don't drop this on the floor because it's going to cause some damage to the floor. And the copper is great. I bought this second hand. These pens are a little bit mid-priced, I'd say, mid to high price, depending on the material. But I saw this second hand, and yeah, I had to buy it. Loved it. And because it's copper, it has this patina. So we've got a whole load of different colours going on here. So oils, salts, things like that in your on your skin are going to add to that patina and create a unique, personal to you fountain pen. It's going to age with you. It's going to be really lovely. And of course you could polish it up easily enough using metal polish if you wanted to get back to a raw copper finish, and you could even lacquer it if you so desired and you wanted to preserve that bright, lovely copper colour. But I like the way that copper patinas and ages. So let's look at the pen. Domed conical finial. The cap is sort of, it tapers down towards the finial. No cap band or anything there, and the barrel tapers down to a similarly domed copper finial there. And the cap unscrews, as I mentioned before, no clip, so oops, tighten that up a bit too much. About one turn, maybe just less than one turn to uncap it. And the cap is, you know, it's metal. There is no liner in there, nothing. Choice of nib options. This is a Bock steel nib, and this is the fine steel nib. Section, also made of the same material. So copper in this case. You can see the previous owners, and mingled with mine, the previous owner's fingerprints, the way they held their pen, has created this patina there. So yeah, really, really nice. There is a step up to the barrel. Threads are basically minimal, and it's actually quite rounded. It's almost comfortable. It's almost reassuring for my fingers. I mean, as you can see, it's not the longest of sections, but really comfortable for me. You just about feel the step up there, but it's not sharp at all. Really comfortable. And it's a good size, really good size. Nice weight as well, if you like heavy pens. I will measure the weight shortly. The cap sort of posts on there, but this is stupidly heavy posted. It's balanced, but no, it's just not a pen to post. And there is, where this metal has been turned, there is some sort of micro, I mean, it's basically been turned this way, so it's taken away the metal, so you can hear there are lines on there, but you really can't see them. Barrel unscrews to reveal the converter, and it takes standard international cartridges and converters. It will take a long standard international ink cartridge, so that's always good. Screw that back on. So let's talk about weight, because this is heavy. So all up, I've got to try and balance this. Oh, come on. There we go. 99 grams. 99 grams for the copper Namisu Nova. Uncapped, which is how you're going to be writing with this pen. 72.1 grams. Heavy. This is heavy metal. Really is. I have got a couple of pens which are also mid-ranges here. I've got a Kaweco All Sport Stonewashed Black and a Lamy 2000 to give you some indication of what these pens are like on size. So I mean, it is very similar to the Lamy 2000, a couple of millimeters shorter. Unposted, uncapped. I'll use that as a wedge because that's absolutely no benefit to that whatsoever. Okay, so put these side by side. Very similar in size to the Lamy 2000, but obviously incredibly heavy by comparison. Put these there and get my Rhodia lined pad. And let's do the writing sample. Now, before I get onto that, I will state a few weeks ago, those of you who've already subscribed, and please do give me a subscription and a like if you enjoy this video, will have watched my penabling my wife video, which is, to be honest, hilarious. I mean, it was very interesting from my point of view. It made me question why I even like fountain pens, write with them. Very interesting video. My wife, I gave her this pen thinking she would hate it. She does like heavier pens. She's not a fountain pen fan at all. But she likes feeling a heavy pen. And she was really happy with this. And I thought she wouldn't like the fine nib on this pen, but I was really shocked and quite amazed that she actually really loved this pen. So let's see how it writes. Oops, that's a hard start because I've been messing around with it. So this is the Namisu Nova fountain pen. This is the copper version with a fine steel Bock nib. And let's see what the Quick Brown Fox is up to. wonderful writing experience from this nib, and this pen is really, really great. It feels fantastic. I'd say medium wetness for a fine nib, and let's just lay down some ink. Obviously with a fine nib, you know, sometimes I can't keep the lines together, but it keeps up. It writes. Never had any issues with hard starting, never had any issues with the nib and feed running dry. It works. Oh, by the way, I did match this ink to the pen, and you know, had to do it. So what's the ink? Diamine Ancient Copper, which for me matches this pen absolutely perfectly. I think I'd struggle to use any other ink in this pen. You know, it's just such a perfect combination. Maybe a green ink. Nice green ink would probably also work quite well in this pen. But, you know, love it. Lovely colour, lovely pen. What do I think about the weight? Well, it's heavy. I personally don't think that I would like to write with this pen for hours on end. There are some pens which are, I mean, it's ergonomic, but it's just too heavy for that. Write a few pages, no problem, but if I was sitting down to a 3-hour examination or something, I don't think I'd want to write with this. And anyway, it's, you know, cartridge converter, not really suitable for that purpose. This nib, as far as reverse writing goes, is really good. So we've gone from a fine down to almost an extra fine, and it's smooth and it's wet and it keeps up. So no issues with the nibs on these pens. I mean, yeah, good quality nibs, very good quality fountain pens from Namisu. They do a whole range of other metal pens that they manufacture themselves here in the UK, so that's always good. And I really love this pen. I have other Namisu Novas coming up which will feature in more videos, so please do poke subscribe down below a couple of times to get notified of when all of my videos come out. I do 2 videos a week, Tuesday and Thursday, both at 2 PM London time, and you will see those pens when I do the videos for them. So there we go, just look at the beauty of this copper. I will point out one other thing, and I know that copper has been one of those materials that a lot of people have looked at in 2020 who work in, say, healthcare, or, you know, just for their own peace of mind, because copper is an antimicrobial metal. Doesn't kill viruses. It's antimicrobial as far as bacteria and celled organisms go. Viruses can live on copper the same as they can live on stainless steel and everything else. So, you know, it's not a suitable material for saying, yes, I have a copper pen, therefore I never need to clean it, you know, blah, blah, blah. Copper can still harbour microorganisms, some of which may be harmful. And I know that when I did a pen mail video featuring this pen, one of my viewers did also comment about how, you know, you've got to be careful handling copper, it's toxic. I worked as a jeweller for many years, had my own business, and I did an awful lot of work with copper. I also happen to work in health and safety and have done that for even longer, and I understand what risks there are to the brain from overexposure to copper compounds and copper as an element, and from holding this pen all day, every day, 8 hours a day, you're not going to absorb enough copper through your skin to cause any long-term health effects. The copper affects the brain, by the way, if you're interested. It's not going to do any significant damage, and in fact, when you get people who wear copper bracelets and copper rings, things like that, they are very beneficial in reducing pain. I'm not saying that this pen is going to reduce pain if you've got arthritis, but you know, it's copper, and some people do find that it works. Personally, I've always thought it was a little bit of hokum. However, I've made copper rings for other people. I've recommended people to wear copper bands, and I've even worn copper rings myself when I started to develop arthritis in my hands, and it solves the problem. So, hokum or not, it worked, certainly for myself and the few other people that I do know. So it was an interesting thoughts about what copper can do, both beneficially and harmfully to the human body. And this is you know, if you're after a copper fountain pen, you're not going to get one that's more copper than this, I don't think. So really love this pen, really do love this pen. In fact, so much so that, you know, the Namisu Nova is definitely a pen on my list of pens that I collect. So stay tuned for more of those videos in due course. Give me a subscribe, you'll see those when they come out. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you found that this video was interesting, informative and useful for you, and I shall see you next time. Thanks very much for watching. Bye.